Most of us have observed just how fast and powerful a blender can be, pulverizing a variety of ingredients into little pieces in about a minute or less. Now this pulverizing action creates friction, and this friction can create quite a lot of heat. A powerful blender on high speed, for example, can heat liquid by as much as 15 degrees Celsius in just 1 minute. Now this sounds a little counterintuitive when you consider that most drinks made in a blender, like milkshakes, smoothies or margaritas, are served icy cold. But they're cold, of course, because they've been blended with ice, frozen fruit or ice cream. And this means that for most things you blend, you barely notice the heat transfer. But sometimes being able to add heat is just what the doctor ordered. The Boss, for example, has a cold to hot soup function. There are a variety of soup recipes that come with the Boss, like pea and mint soup, where you simply add your own ingredients and press the soup function. The program uses a soft start to avoid creating steam bursts caused by blending warm ingredients, and it pulses at the end of the cycle at low speed to help release any steam bubbles that might have formed. This one-touch function is a fast and very convenient way to make a hot soup when you're in a hurry. But there are also times where adding heat whilst blending doesn't help you get the best results. Milling, sauces and emulsions can be adversely affected if too much heat is added. So how do you add enough heat when you want to, but less heat when you don't? Well, it's everyday kitchen challenges like this that the team at Breville just love to try and solve. But when it comes to solving it, it's important to first consider how heat is created. Friction occurs when two surfaces rub together. In a blender, friction happens firstly as the blades push through the surrounding ingredients, and secondly as the ingredients are forced against the base and the walls of the blender jug. The harder they hit, the hotter they get. Commercial blenders typically have flat-bottomed jugs, and this means that the particles at the bottom of the jug can rebound several times between the base and the blades, and they get really hot before the ingredients on top start to be blended. By the time all the ingredients have been cut properly, the mix of ingredients can become very, very hot indeed. But the prokinetics blades do two things differently. Firstly, the curved shape of the prokinetics blades and bowl helps circulate ingredients up and away from the blades more quickly. Now this allows dry ingredients to circulate with a cooler air above and prevent overheating when milling. So the Boss creates a lot less heat for dry ingredients than it does for soup. The second difference is the curved blades and tips that help whip the ingredients while they're blending. This helps creams and emulsions combine and aerate properly before too much heat is transferred. Let's take a look at the different blade types in action. Each of these blenders has the same amount of water added to them, each with a starting temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. Now we're going to blend them each at high speed for exactly 1 minute. This blender uses a typical commercial blending system, whereas the Boss has prokinetics. After 1 minute, the temperature has risen to 28.5 degrees in one and 28 degrees in the other. So both have risen almost exactly the same amount. But now let's try dry ingredients. As you can see in the Boss, the folding action circulates the seeds, which allows them to stay cool. The linseeds in the blender, however, are clumping and turning a darker colour. When we measure the temperature, there is a 14-degree difference. So it's easy to tell just by looking at the two that this difference is quite significant. Less heat for dry ingredients and emulsions helps with other tasks like milling flour, spices and making nut butters too. The Breville Boss, the easier to use super blender.